Okay, studio time check says it's 37 minutes gone past 6 a.m. Today is the 19th day in March 2026. It's just an ordinary day. It's a public holiday. So I totally understand if you're still on your bed, if you're still lounging at home. I honestly wish I could do the same. But we have to bring you Perspectives Unlimited, ensure that you get informed, ensure that you're aware of the stories making the rounds across the dailies in Nigeria. So you're welcome to Perspectives Unlimited, where we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the country. This is Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. We're broadcasting live from the Wells Broadcasting House, which is located along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole State, Ibadan. That's where we're broadcasting from. You can reach out to us on all our socials. Find us on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Find us on Instagram, X, TikTok at Wells Radio 893. Visit our website to listen to us and to find out more about us, www.wellsradio893.com. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola. I welcome you to yet another edition of Perspectives Unlimited this morning. Between now and 7:30 a.m., we'll be taking a look at headlines that are making the rounds, going into the stories, going beyond the news, and trying to help you make sense of these stories. We'll get started from the front page of the Punch. So we'll take a look at the front pages first before we get into the stories. So we'll start from the front page of the Punch newspaper, where the headline says, Nigeria, Britain set for fresh security alliance. The rider says Tinubu pushes for fresh security pact at state banquet. President meets British PM today. President says Nigeria poised to play a bigger role in Commonwealth. Hints on Nigeria's link with UK health system. Finally, UK gave me refuge, police protection during military rule. Tinubu tells British monarch. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. AFCON, global outrage as CAF hands Senegal's cup to Morocco. That's on page 3. 24 billion naira public projects abandoned in states. That's according to reports. It's on page 22. Nigerian student arrested with 49 million naira cocaine in South Africa. You find that on page 4. More headlines. Medicine shortages loom amidst U.S.-Iran conflicts. That's on page 2. Imported petrol undercuts local supply by 94 naira. That's on page 21. Highway danger. Oyo students beg FEMA for speed breakers. That's on page 21. And finally, Sultan declares Friday Eid. Police and SCDC mobilized. You find that on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Malam Fatori battle. Military kills 80 ISWAP members in Borno. Take ownership of fight against Boko Haram and ISWAP. CDS tells Borno and the Yobe people. That story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Wike's PDP faction meets. Says convention date sacrosanct. And the writer says, I have not moved from PDP, says Bauchi governor. That's on page 3. More headlines. Crane abduction. Police said 2 out of 4 cocoa farmers rescued. The rider, 3 suspects arrested. That story is on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. More headlines. Maiduguri explosion. No cause justifies killing of innocent people, says Shetima. That's on page 25. More headlines on the Tribune newspaper. All right, we'll move on to another daily. Let's take a look at the Daily Trust newspaper. Man loses 4 sons to Maiduguri explosion. That's on the front page of the Daily Trust. Continued on pages 3 and 4. Iran war. Crude oil prices inch to $110 per barrel. You found that on page 18. Abductors of FCT communities members send account details for ransom. That's on page 14. Jostle for Kwara governorship intensified. You found that on page 38. Why Bala Mohammed foot drags on defection. That's on page 5. How new BVN rules will curb fraudulent transactions. That's on page 18 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. More headlines. Kano government clears Emir Sanusi for Salah Durbar. You find that on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Once again, you're welcome. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Perspectives Unlimited. I'll bring in our analyst at this point, Mr. Lali Konsani. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, madam.
How do you do?
That's good in Nigeria. We are fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm equally fine. We thank God. We'll start with what happened at, will I say, our backyard?
Yes, it is.
Yesterday, I believe.
It is our backyard.
I was shocked to see the news, and I told myself it's closer than, we could imagine. So apparently yesterday, I believe, something happened at Crane, and some people were kidnapped. And how did this make you feel when you heard the news?
I was not totally shocked. I was not totally surprised. I would rather say I was concerned because there is nothing that we are aware of right now that any forward-thinking person would have been thinking about in the past. Being a farmer, a cocoa farmer myself, I often frequent Crane alone. And I must confess, anytime I'm on the road, I would be like, this place, are we sure this place is safe? How sure are we that thing? I mean, I was there sometime not too long ago, and we were talking about buying seedlings and all of that. And they said, oh, Chief, we are sorry, we can't give you the quantity of seedlings that you desire. And I was like, why? They said, half of our plantation has been burnt. By who? By these same people, really, in this same compound. So for someone who has been hearing things like that, I mean, it wouldn't have come
It's only a matter of time.
That is it. I mean, I, in all seriousness, sympathize with the family of those who were kidnapped yesterday. I can only hope and pray that they return swiftly, in fact, very, very swiftly, because with each passing day comes terror of the mind and all of that. I just hope and pray that their family members and the people kidnapped themselves are not going to endure this any much longer.
All right, for those who haven't heard, police, we're told, have rescued 2 of the 4 cocoa farmers abducted at the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, Crane, Idianyre, in Oliole local government area of Oyo State. They say that 3 suspected kidnappers have also been arrested in connection with the incident. The police public relations officer, Yola Diolainka, confirmed this development in a statement made available to newsmen in Ibadan yesterday, Wednesday. He said the victims were abducted while submitting their annual collections of cocoa seedlings for the 2026 planting season. He then added that 3 suspects were arrested during a manhunt launched by the operatives. And this arrest was made by a combined security team comprising the police, the NSCDC, local vigilante groups, and Amotekun Corps. And so they were able to rescue 2 male victims.
I should say something. This is not the first time things will be happening along that axis. A former driver of mine who now works with a big poultry farm in Ibadan was kidnapped, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2 years ago. And they had to pay maybe 7.5 mil for him. I mean, 2 of them. So it's not something new along the axis. It's just testament to the fact that we need to be very, very careful as citizens. And as on the part of the government, they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of work to do.
All right, thank you so much. So now this brings me, of course, before we go to other stories, really, this then brings me to this story on the Daily Trust newspaper. I had taken a headline earlier where it said that abductors of FCT community members sent account details for ransom. So now, this headline says, how the new BVN rules will curb fraudulent transactions. Now, it says that the CBN has introduced stricter bank verification number, enrollment, and data access rules to prevent fraudulent transactions in the financial system. Now, they say the policy plan takes effect on May 1st, and it helps in building a secure, stable, and more efficient financial system for customers and the economy. So they say that this BVN scheme obviously captures the uniqueness of every bank customer. When the BVN was introduced, we were told that it was going to be part of the BVN and the NIN. We were told that they were going to be, number one, the BVN was going to ensure that the government would be aware, the central bank would be aware, of accounts, fraudulent and suspicious accounts. We were told that on the part of the NIN, it would make the government be able to, find people. Some of these kidnappers are called with mobile phones. They'll be able to find them. But so far so good. We've not really seen that working. So and now the CBN is coming up with something else to make it better. Are we looking at all this with all of the things at the disposal of the government? Does it seem like the federal government, in this case in conjunction with the CBN, is really serious about finding these people?
I don't think they are, and I'm very, very serious about that. Number one, if you have a BVN bank verification number, if your details are with the government, I see no reason why you need an NIN. If you have an NIN, I see no reason why you have BVN, because the two are actually the same thing. They capture your fingerprints, your picture, your name, maiden name, and all of that jargons. But that's not the point here. The point now is that for you to have a bank account in Nigeria, that bank account must be attached to your BVN or NIN. And these two are enough to show at least your face, your fingerprints, your name, and at least an address. You may not be living there anymore, but at least it must show an address. Now, these people are bold enough to say, okay, this is our account number. In all seriousness, the owner of that account should not be at home at this particular point. Now, I know too well that no BVN or NIN is a geolocator, meaning that it's not going to lead them directly to wherever you may be, but at least it will tell them your details. And what is wrong with publishing the photos of whoever owns that BVN at this particular point in time? Turn up the heat.
That if your BVN is going to let know the owner of the account, then the owner of the account will have a phone number attached to them.
Of course.
And we've seen the DSS pick up people, by virtue of their phone.
That is it. Your phone is actually a geolocator. Not your BVN, not your NIN.
So obviously, I'm saying.
No, I get you are making perfect sense. You are making perfect sense here. Now you have a phone number. You have an address, either valid or not. You have at least and there is one good thing about NIN and BVN. You are not uploading pre-snapped pictures. It's actually a live picture. So you are seeing the picture of the actual owner of that account. I mean, we shouldn't be talking about this if not that the government is not serious about it. If they are really serious, they can do little things by turning up the heat, flash the picture of the person who owns the account on all websites owned by the EFCC, police, all security agencies in Nigeria. Let the person know that, okay, they cannot be the only ones who will make life hard for Nigerians. I mean, it's not going to be nice for you to see your pictures everywhere simply because you are a kidnapper. No.
Let's look at one of the amendments, in this newly improved revised regulatory framework for the BVN. It says that the enrollment for the BVN will be limited to individuals aged 18 and above, while amendments to phone numbers linked to a BVN will be restricted to a one-time change only. Is this realistic?
It is not realistic. People lose phones. People travel out for a long time without actually believing they will stay there for a long time. You come back and they tell you they've already allocated your number to another person. So what then happens? You begin to transact on a phone number belonging to another person simply because the government has said it cannot change. I mean, these are things that are not making sense. Of what significance, of what value is this? You should be able to change your number as often as you, just that you must provide a valid excuse for you to do that. If you were out of the country for over 6 months, trust me, no telco is going to keep your number for you after 6 months of inactivity. That is it. So, some people get sick that they don't even remember their phones anymore. I have seen people who lost consciousness for a long time. And they came back and, started living normal lives again.
Sometimes you just even leave a SIM card because the network is so bad.
So bad in your particular community. And before you know what's happening, another person, you begin to get text messages. I've seen that not once, not twice. So I now began to contact the bank in this particular. Oh, you are sending me stuff's not belonging to me. These are the things we need to talk about. The very first thing I think we need to talk about is that if your phone has been inactive for 6 months, disconnect that phone from a bank account, because people have bought SIM cards and they started getting messages of transactions they didn't initiate.
Yeah,
And
I've seen someone who she
and
didn't
if you recharge,
someone recharged from the SIM from her account.
it's going to happen. The truth of the matter is that if you buy a new SIM that's attached to someone else's phone, just because that person didn't use that phone for 6 months, if you want to recharge, if I want to recharge for you now, I'll be asked for PIN.
Yes.
But if I want to recharge for myself, nobody's going to ask me for PIN because it's my account. I am recharging directly. So, take for instance, I buy a new SIM, it belongs to you. Simply because you didn't use it for 6 months. I get hold of it today, and I began to subscribe to all sorts of data, all because it's not my money. Just like they say in Yoruba parlance. These are the things they need to come up with, not things that will not help anybody at the end of the day.
All right, the federal government declared today and tomorrow as public holidays to mark Eid al-Fitr. Happy celebrations to everyone. Some people said they would have preferred Friday and Monday. I said, oh well, you can use the weekend, so Thursday extends into the weekend for this week for non-essential workers. For those of us who are essential workers, we have to be at work. All right, so congratulations to everyone. Learns that the Eid is tomorrow, and may it meet us alive and in good health.
Amen.
Our president yesterday was in the United Kingdom, and he stated that Nigeria's collaboration with the United Kingdom in addressing insecurity remains crucial. He also added that he plans to discuss Nigeria's counter-terrorism initiatives and challenges to regional stability during his meeting with the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer today. He said this yesterday at a state banquet hosted by King Charles III at Windsor Castle. And they say this is the first time that a Nigerian leader has addressed a gathering at a historic British royal residence. We did see, I watched on TV, at least for a while until we didn't have power supply anymore. I watched, when all the horse salutes and everything that the president got, and it was nice showing, and he did say a lot. Mr. Sonny, what do you think that a closer relationship with our colonizers can give Nigeria at this point? Nothing
good. It has never brought us anything good. Pardon me, I'm not a pessimist or a naysayer, but nothing good is going to come out of this then. I know a lot of people will be saying, oh, Nigeria is in a dire situation right now, we need all the help we can get, but trust me, help cannot come from people whose sole motive is to see you while you are down. That is it. I strongly believe they want to get something from Nigeria. The last time this happened was during the regime of Babangida, and it was around the time they asked us to implement SAP and all of that, and Babangida did. Now we are implementing things that would benefit them, and this is either of two things. Maybe, you have been a good boy. You have been implementing policies that will favor us at the detriment of your people, or they even want to go more by saying, okay, let us make his head swell up a little so that by the time we ask him to do this, he is going to do it, as swiftly as possible.
The president highlighted, majorly security, saying that Nigeria, wants to partner with the United Kingdom in order to confront the threats that we're facing. I thought we were partnering with the U.S.
What has it brought? The U.S. started the drama then. Oh, Christian genocide. Oh, guns are blazing. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. But guess what? They already have what they wanted, which is a military base. Now they have it in Nigeria. I know you are aware of what's happening between the U.S. and Iran. Now, Iran feels like it's difficult to get to continental U.S., and instead they are striking bases belonging to the U.S. in the Middle East. Guess what? I'm not praying for this, something happening between the U.S. and, let's say, South Africa or Egypt, who do you think they're going to attack? Continental U.S. may be far away, but instead of going to the
continent, the bases are close by.
So they will fire Nigeria. The U.S. has been asking for a military base to be situated in Nigeria since the time of Obasanjo? And I said no, despite the fact that he was their best friend. The same thing, Yar'Adua, don't bring that into me again. He didn't accept it at all. The same thing for Goodluck Jonathan, the same thing for Muhammadu Buhari. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president, and we have two in Nigeria right now, occupied solely by U.S. personnel.
Have we then begun to see the dividends or the fruits of this so-called partnership?
We cannot see it because it was not even designed to favor us. The U.S. has a strategy, a military strategy. They want to keep troops in close proximities to anywhere and everywhere in the world, such that should anything happen against their interest, it won't be that they will be flying all the way from U.S. to come and confront it. They will just pick people from close areas, nearby areas, to go and confront that interest. That attack against the interest of America. That is the only reason why they want a base here. It's standard procedure. Should you have internal crisis, the U.S. will never, they have never done that, they will never do it, send troops to come and quell that problem of, it's your problem, deal with it. They have military bases across the world simply because they want to be everywhere so that they can confront whatever attacks American interests. That is it. Not because of you. It's because of them.
All right. According to The Punch, this visit is expected to result in several memoranda of understanding and agreements covering trade, investment, defense, and cultural cooperation, including a £746 million financing deal for the refurbishment of the Lagos Port Complex and Tinkan Island ports.
I should say something about ports. This government has borrowed way too much in the name of refurbishing our ports. There is Kineko Local Deep Sea Port, there is Lekki Deep Sea Port, there is Tinkan Rehabilitation, there is this, there is that. If I'm not mistaken, we're talking about multiple billions of dollars on the ground already in the name of port rehabilitation. Yet, the local ports are still one of the nastiest in the world in terms of delay. So where exactly has all the money been going? They just concessioned one again for 45 years for $1 billion. Of what value is that? You are concessioning something for 45 years. That's the trademark, the hallmark of corruption. You don't do that. 45 years. 45. I'll be lucky to be around the next 45. Extremely lucky to be around the next 45 years. And yet the government is doing that. 45 years agreement. This is not what we should be talking about. Okay.
Apologies. We'll take a short break.
Okay.
When we come back from the break, we'll continue with our discussion on Perspectives Unlimited. So don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
Do you want to eat and stay healthy? Are you looking for healthy, high-quality chickens? Do you desire to start your own poultry farm? SMC Foods is your reliable plug for your healthy chickens. We specialize in the sales of premium and healthy chickens and poultry produce. We offer consultation services for your poultry farm setups. We are located at Oluyole Extension, Olusoji, Ibadan. To place your order or for enquiries, call Oduekun on 0813 970 3731. At SMC Foods, we are reliable, tested, and trusted.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817 665 7060, 0707 338 4828, SEC 0209 462 1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Hey there! Want to stay connected to your favorite radio station? Follow us on social media for the latest updates, entertaining wholesome content, and behind-the-scene peaks. We're on Instagram at Wells Radio 893, Facebook Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, X Wells Radio 893. Follow our WhatsApp channel Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Get a scoop on upcoming shows, giveaways, and events. Also get to interact with your favorite presenters and share your thoughts on our posts and stories. Join the conversation and stay tuned into Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
right, you're welcome back. Studio time check says it's 7 minutes past 7 a.m. Today, the 19th day in March 2026. You're welcome. If you're just joining us, I understand if you woke up late because it's a public holiday, you're welcome. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Just sit down, take a listen, and also join us on the conversation by calling the studio lines, which are officially open now: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 893, and 0911 3333 893. I'll take the numbers again: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 893, and 0911 3333 893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. We'll move on to take more stories. Before the break, we were talking about the president's trip.
In particular, the issue of ports. It's now a frequent thing to have cargoes bringing in terrible things into the country, guns, ammunition, and all of that. Now and currently it's the government that controls the ports. And I know too well that the elites are part of the problems that we are facing in Nigeria. So what happens when you now put all of that in the hands of the elites? And can we say effectively that they won't find a way to bring these things into the country without much eyes prying on them? And the most disturbing part is that a guy called Chagori, who is Bola Tinubu's daring partner, is the one in charge of this. Guess what? This is a guy that was investigated by the United States of America for terrorism at some point, terror financing, and that is the person we want to hand over our ports to. Sometimes I believe that we are crazy in this country.
No, we're not. All right, let's move to other stories quickly. Nigeria ranks 4th as Sahel leads global terror deaths. I'm going to link this to other stories. This is on the Punch newspaper. Now, the Sahel region of Africa, which has become the global epicenter of terrorism, accounted for nearly half of all terrorism-related deaths for the 3rd consecutive year in 2025. This according to the Global Terrorism Report. Now, this index, compiled by the Institute for Economics and Peace think tank, has ranked 163 countries for 13 years, according to the impact of terrorism based on indicators such as the number of attacks, deaths, injuries, and hostages. They say, according to the index, in 2025, Burkina Faso was the most affected country in the world. But that was before 2025, but it has now been taken over by Pakistan. Also, Burkina Faso saw a decline in the number of deaths in 2025. Niger, listed 5th in 2024, climbed to 3rd place. Nigeria rose to 4th place on the index, with 750 people killed in 2025, up to 46% from the previous year. And they say this is driven by internal instability as well as ongoing conflict between ISWAP and Boko Haram. We're seeing some countries, showing a decline in the number of terrorist-related deaths. Also, countries like Mali as well have seen a decline in terrorist-related deaths. And I want to take this back to what we saw in Maiduguri, Borno State, where where IEDs went off simultaneously in about 3 places. In fact, the Daily Trust has a headline that says that a man lost 4 children in that blast. Now, the police have now officially confirmed 23 dead and 108 injured, in that attack. And we hear that the president, in a personally signed statement, said that Nigeria will not succumb to fear, and he directed the security chiefs to move to Maiduguri to take charge of the situation. This is not the first time we're hearing the president saying that military heads should move. At the point when it happened in, I believe, Benue, was it Benue,
Sokoto,
where the president
Sokoto.
tried to visit
The current president or former president?
No, President Bola Tinubu. Okay. Where he was supposed to visit, but we learned that the road was bad.
Okay, that was Benue State.
Benue State. Yes. He specifically and categorically said it on that point that the military heads should relocate. But 48
current
hours
president-
after, we did not see anybody.
The current president said the same thing as we had Sokoto State. Relocate to Sokoto State. See, let's start from the beginning. When some of us come here and begin to say things are getting worse, it's not because we are happy. In fact, we are terribly saddened that things are getting worse. But if you want to see a change towards the side of improvement, you must say things the way they are. Nobody can confront a problem they wouldn't even admit exists. You said it now. I mean, over half on the increase compared with what we saw in 2024 happened in 2025. I mean, that's a very, very terrible statistics. And that is why I've been telling the president, through this platform, that the best way to attract investors is to build a stable and viral Nigeria. If the security situation of the country is okay and the economy is okay, trust me, these guys are going to fall over themselves to come to Nigeria. You don't have to tell them to come. In all seriousness, can you take your money to Iran as we speak this morning? Can you take your own money to Afghanistan? And Nigeria ranks in the same category as these countries. Now I expect them to bring their own money to a country where anything can go off at any point in time. It's not going to happen. Let's talk about what happened in Maiduguri as regards the blast. 2-3 days ago, people were breaking their fast and bam, 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 almost simultaneously. I wasn't surprised. Heaven forgive me, I was already expecting it. If you look at the trajectory, things are getting worse. We have not heard of an incident in Maiduguri for a long time.
For a while.
It was always in Goza, Damboa, and the likes. Borno is a very, very big state. It's the second largest state after Niger State in Nigeria. It's multiple folds of your state. What I'm trying to say here is this. Since the era of, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 1 or 2 years into the administration of Buhari, he was able to secure Maiduguri, such that these guys couldn't infiltrate Maiduguri. But if you have been following the trend in the last 1 or 2 weeks, these guys have been constantly decimating military bases in the state. I knew they were up to something. I knew they were going to do something with Maiduguri. And if you look at the statistics and the maps, they kept inching towards Maiduguri along the line. God forbid, let's use Oyo State as an example. From Shaki to Ibeti to Iseyin to Oyo, you would know that the next place is Ibadan. That's exactly what they have been doing in Borno State for like 2-3 weeks now. So when I heard that thing happened in Maiduguri, I wasn't surprised. I was just like, these guys clearly still have the upper hand in this.
Let's look at an allegation from the CDS.
Okay.
Now, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, called on residents in Borno and Yobe states to take ownership of insecurity challenges. He said that some locals, are also helping these people were also complicit.
Okay.
Yes, he cited an example. He said when Kukawa was attacked, that they were conducting follow-up searches afterwards. 2 of the attackers were inside the village. He said that means that the people are complicit. So he said the people must resolve that the time has come for them to, take ownership of the problem.
Thank you very much, madam. I don't believe that type of talk. That's nonsense in my opinion. We have been talking about attacks over the years. I mean, did he ever think it was ghosts or aliens or UFOs that were attacking? It must have been people, human beings like you and I, that are doing this thing. You have a ton of money. You have a ton of intelligence. You have a ton of technological hardware to track these people and prosecute them. That is what you should. We gave you a job as the people of the country to secure our country from any form of insecurity. You shouldn't now tell us that, it's actually your brother, it's your sister. That is not what... We know too well that some of us are sick in the head. And that is why we employed you to help us take care of the sick people. So you now pointing fingers in the direction of what we already know, what made us hire you, is a very, very good way of saying, 1, I'm not interested in your problem. 2, take care of it yourself, by yourself, and which is wrong.
Let's also look at the how does, if you see something, say something, how does it work in Nigeria? Is it a rewarding system, the whistleblower system?
It is not, because a particular guy is in the guard room as we speak right now. And what happened was that he, as a soldier, said that bring in more people for me. I need more boys because I am under fire right now. What I have with me currently cannot engage this guy. So bring in more personnel so that we can challenge them. No personnel came, and this guy withdrew tactically and left. And for that reason, they said, oh, he must be in the guard room. That's not how to effectively run a country. If you want, okay, let's talk about what happened yesterday. I mean, day before yesterday. Now, after the embarrassment of Borno, after the embarrassment of, oh, Mr. President, should you be in the UK right now when your country is on fire? Guess what happened? The Nigerian military scored big. It was a very, very good outing for the Nigerian military day before yesterday. These same bad boys wanted to infiltrate a military camp in Borno State. And guess what? Just one fighter jet appeared and neutralized 80 people.
Why are we not making more use of our Air Force? I
have always said it here that Nigeria has what it takes to kill this madness in not more than 2 weeks. After that, after that round vile statements from Nigerians and, the global audience, the Nigerian military and the government knew that they just had to do something to take attention away from them. I do not see how anybody can convince me that the Nigerian government of today and the military guys are not totally pleased with what is happening right now. It's more money for them. It's everything they want. Now the backlash is high. The president is in a place where I believe he shouldn't be right now. And they just had to find a way to say, let's take this negative energy from us. The bad comments are getting too much. Let's do something that will make Nigerians know that, okay, there is something that we are doing actually in their favor. And they struck those guys. I saw the video.
And they did what?
They struck those guys.
Yeah, so
I saw the video.
They say that they repelled the Boko Haram attack.
Yes, it wasn't boys on the ground that did the job. It was boys, looking from above in the sky that did the job. And if I'm not mistaken, just 1 or 2 bombs, and 80 of those guys became history instantly. I saw a video where they were using wheelbarrows to carry their guns. It was that massive. Wheelbarrows to hold their guns. They spread their bodies out, all 80 of them, and they were using wheelbarrows to, carry the weapons they found around them. That is what I want to see every day. But why did it happen at this particular point in time? There have been ransacking military bases in Borno State.
So you're saying that they must be consistent?
They must be consistent if they want us to take them seriously. I know that they have what it takes to be consistent. Why they are not consistent is what common sense cannot explain.
All right, the phone lines are open, 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning, to join the conversation and be a part of Perspectives Unlimited. Or you can drop your comments on our Facebook fan page at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. That's at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. I will definitely read out your comments this morning. So in case you're not familiar with what Mr. Sani was saying earlier, it's on the Punch newspaper. Troops kill 3 ISWAP commanders, 80 fighters in Borno. They say that troops of Operation Hardin Kai repelled the Boko Haram attack in Malam Fatore, Abadam local government area of Borno State, killing 3 high-profile commanders and more than 80 insurgents. This was according to a statement by the Media Information Officer, Northeast Joint Task Force Operation Hardin Kai, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, identified the eliminated commanders as Abdurrahman Gubara, Malam Bayuram, and Abu Ayuba, who coordinated and led the field assault. It's a good one. However, we want, as Mr. Sani has said, to see it again and again, to ensure that these people are forced out of Nigeria. If all of them cannot be, killed, let the rest of them be forced to flee. And that's the only way that we can, stay safe and also enjoy ourselves as Nigerians. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, we can't hear you. You may want to try calling us back. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. All right. I want to believe that. Okay, let's take this call.
That's okay.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello. Okay, for some reason we honestly cannot hear. You can try our other phone numbers as well. We may be able to hear you on those other phone numbers. All right, and let's take some other stories. We still have more time on the show. Let's take some other stories. Now we okay. Let's hope we can hear this time. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, the beautiful radio woman. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. You're welcome.
Thank you. This is Binta Mary calling from Apata. Mr. Sonny, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
I think with what you said, that how our military officers are able to, the air personnel are able to capture, to kill 80 bandits, I think it's a good one. Then if that is the best way to go, if using an aircraft to kill them, then that means we are good to go. We can contain the excesses of those bandits. The thing that happened in Crimea yesterday is a clarion call and a testament to the fact that we are hearing that this thing normally happens in the north, but now it has come to Kwara, which is closer to us here. Look at Crimea. Crimea is not it's not outside Ibadan, it's within Ibadan, and that tells you that it is close by, and we will need. It's so shameful that our governor has not said anything concerning this issue. It was only the police that came out to tell us that they've arrested only 3 of those Fulani guys, and they've been able to save 2 kidnapped individuals. What is the fate of the 3 people that are still held hostage? What is the government of our state saying? And lastly, is somehow that I'm not happy with. I don't want to mention him now. An activist here in Yoruba land. His name is start with S. He told us some time ago that he's going to ensure that Oyo State is safe. That he's going to form a collaboration with security agencies and ensure that those bandits does not come to our place. But to my amazement now, the same activist now is now making clarion call. Is now championing the cause for Mr. President in 2027 election. That means that Nigeria, don't you think we are due for it? The God save Nigeria and bless Nigeria. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mari. You know, while Mr. Mari was talking, I was going to say that there's a reason why, the Holy Book will say that you shouldn't put your trust in man, because man can fail. It's only God that cannot fail.
I can remember when the drama was happening in the build-up to 2023 election. Oh, Yoruba Nation, this, that. Oh, campaign in Abeokuta, Aduekun, almost all of Yoruba land. I said it to my people. Some of them called me all sorts of names I don't even want to remember. I said, this thing is politics. This thing is what? This thing is politics. You are this, you are that. Oh, I'm disappointed. Now they can see what I saw then. God help them. But the truth of the matter is this. In all seriousness, something must be very, very wrong with us if we think it's characters like that will lead the fight towards the Nigeria of our dream. Someone like that will never be a leading light in my life. It's not possible. So how some people felt like it's this person that will now liberate. I mean, in all seriousness, our people need to upgrade the way they think.
All right. Now, moving on quickly, I'd like us to touch on this before we wrap up the show this morning. We haven't heard much about the reconciliation meeting that the PDP factions were supposed to have on Monday, and we were not exactly sure of where they are at the moment, but what we've heard is that the Wike's camp has said that this reconciliation process will not hinder their planned national convention. And where does this leave the People's Democratic Party and the candidates who are vying for electoral posts under the party?
In the graveyard of political irrelevance. That's just it. Please pardon me to say something about Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Somebody needs to tell her that she's making a very grave mistake right now. I learned she just renewed her membership of the PDP. That's a very, very big mistake.
But we're not sure if she plans to run for office again, because she had said in an interview, I believe, maybe sometime this year or last year, with a journalist, when the person had asked her that he learned that former Governor Yahaya Bello may run.
He has already declared that he's running.
And she said, well, she cannot say whether or not she would, run. And so, let's just leave that aside.
For me, a renewal of a membership of the party suggests that she wants to contest. And even if she doesn't want to contest, you need a political party, in the real sense of it, to stay afloat. A viable party. And the PDP is not a viable party right now. If she wants to, let me say something. Let me say something here, madam. If she wants to contest again, she needs to understand that it's going to be a Herculean task for her to get the ticket of the party, because now the party is 100% in the hands of Wike. Wike is Akpabio's good friend. Do you think the PDP of Wike will allow her to come back to Abuja?
Now, isn't this we said here over and over again, I believe our other analyst, Mr. Chukwemeka Munashiso, has said that one of the problems that are bedeviling Nigeria's political parties is the fact that they don't share a common ideology and they don't believe in the party itself. Isn't this for her a show of, belief in the party?
You don't believe.
Come rain, come sunshine, we're in this together and we're going to ensure that we work it out.
If you have a pet you so much love and the pet dies, do you keep that pet in your house because you believe in it or because you love it? You have to deal with the reality.
Some people keep it as a stuffed animal.
God help them. The truth of the matter is that pet cannot do anything for you anymore. It cannot come and welcome you. It cannot do anything. It cannot secure your house should it be an attack dog. So of what significance it is? Is it? I don't understand what Natasha is doing right now. And as regards the meeting, no meeting can happen simply because of the fact that they have different things in mind. A section of the party that actually owns the party wants everything that will ensure...
Nobody wants to compromise.
That will ensure keeping Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president. The other section of the party wants Bola Ahmed. So how do you now marry the two?
All right, we'll leave that question for PDP Faithful to answer for us. That's where we'll wrap up the show this morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani.
It is always an honor to be
here. Thank you to Mr. This record. I want to believe that people are just enjoying their holiday today. All right, that's it. The sports crew is ready to take you through the latest stories in the world of sports, to talk to you about how CAF has fraudulently, in my opinion, taken the cup from the rightful winners and giving it to the wrong.
You won't want to hear my view on that.
All right, that's it this morning. Thank you so much. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola. Good morning. Enjoy your holidays.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
Not just another